Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 20 of the Learn How to Study Abroad in 30 Days series. My name is Kimber. If this is your first video within this series, I would highly recommend that you click into the playlist that will be linked in a card so that you can watch the other videos. You might want to start from day one so that everything is not out of context. In today's video, we're going to be talking specifically about what it looks like once you've been accepted into a program or multiple study abroad programs and how you can move forward to decide which one is going to work best for you. Let's get started now. So for day 20 of our 30-day series, we're going to be talking about what it looks like once you get into a program and how you move forward with deciding which one to choose if you've applied for more than one. So congratulations, you have gone through all of the process of applying and of securing your letters of recommendation and writing your essay, and you have waited everything out and you got into a program or multiple programs, as a lot of you out there have applied for. And so now you are at the stage where you are trying to decide how to actually choose your program. So you will see a theme here because in the beginning of this process, when we were back in days 2, 3, and 4, and 5, you were going through how to choose a program or programs to apply for. And now that you have, let's say, applied to 2 or 3 programs, you have to choose a program to actually go to now that you've gotten into hopefully all of them. So congratulations on that. So the first thing I want you to do is to not respond immediately. And I have to just say within context that, let's say for the most part, most programs are going to give you a week. Sometimes they give you 2 weeks in terms of a deadline to say whether or not you want to come to the program. So most of them are not going to say, we need your answer by 5 p.m. this afternoon. That's not how it works. So I want you to be able to not respond immediately because you're going to want to actually think this through, and we're going to talk about why in a few seconds, but you're going to want to think it through. And so I know that the sort of immediate reaction, if you get something that you want, is to say like, yes, I want to commit to this, but there have to be other steps in place. So I always like to recommend to students to not respond immediately, although you want to keep the deadline that they mention in your mind. And usually they will give you a deadline of when you have to respond. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to get help from your stakeholders to make this decision. Now, you obviously have your own brain in terms of thinking about what you want to do, but you're going to want to revisit what we talked about in day 6. So going back to those stakeholders, trying to check in with the family, with your mom and dad, with other family members, with your counselors, advisors at school to say, okay, we have gotten to the point where we are in the program now and we've gotten accepted, and I want to really talk through what I want to choose. This is going to help because, again, similar to if you think back to the essays where you're getting people who are a little bit more removed from the situation, they're not going to be doing it themselves, but they still care about your well-being. They're going to be able to add a little bit more insight into seeing what you don't see a lot of the time. And so you'll want to sort of reevaluate with them and talk through your options, particularly if you are choosing between 2 or 3 or 4 programs or more. If you're just having one program, then similar thing. I mean, you have one option, but you still want to think through whether or not it is the right option, and your stakeholders can often help you with that. You will want to definitely understand what you are signing up for. So this is another reason why I recommend that students do not respond immediately and say, yes, I'm going to sign the contract, or I'm going to reply back and say yes, or I'm going to mail it back to you right away, because you want to understand everything that is being offered. Keeping in mind that a lot of times between the application process, what was initially put on the website or the brochure, that may have changed in terms of what they're offering. So now they have the most up-to-date information. So you want to understand overall, what are you signing up for? So overall program conditions, what are the expectations of all students within this program? All of this should be listed out. It may not be directly in the offer letter, but it may be in supplemental information, or it could be information that you can request as well. But you want to understand what the overall program conditions are. The housing situation, that is often going to be a big deal, particularly if you are going to be studying abroad outside of the U.S. As I mentioned in previous video, if you are coming to study abroad in the U.S., a lot of times you are going to be fortunate because the way that we have things set up here at most of our colleges and universities, and even some of our boarding school, high schools, is that things are set up where everything is all together. So housing is often included, or even if it is not, you can just add it on for an additional fee. Whereas if you are going to be studying in a place like the UK or in different parts of Europe, housing is a separate entity from schooling. So you have your school admissions, but then you also have to figure out housing. And a lot of times programs may not have that even for study abroad. So you want to understand how that works. Are they going to be able to refer you to someone? If they don't have their own housing, can they help you at least get set up? What does that look like? When is tuition due? So when is the tuition due date? Do they want all of it at once? Do they want it in increments? How does that work? You want to be very clear about that. Any type of scholarship or financial aid that you're getting, you also want to be clear. When is that scholarship aid going to be applied? If you're using student loans, how often are the payments applied? Are they going to be sent directly to you, or do you have to sign off something so that the school can waive it through? How does that actually work? You want to be clear about that, as clear as you can be before you agree to your program. Visa expectations, similar to housing. There are some programs that will help you get your visa squared away. There are some programs that you are on your own with that. What does that look like? You want to be very clear about what the expectations are for that moving forward. Last but not least, your goals. So this comes back to what we were talking about when we first decided how to choose a program. Is, does this speak most to your goals and what you're trying to accomplish? That is how you're going to be able to figure out what program works best for you. It's a bit of thinking about your goals, thinking about what makes you most excited, and also trusting your gut as well. And so while I know making a decision for a lot of students can feel overwhelming, definitely lean heavily on your key stakeholders as well to help give some input to make that final decision. All I can say is that I know what it feels like to finally get that great acceptance letter or letters and to be able to have a choice. And so as you go through this process, just stay positive and also make sure that you are thinking about all the elements that you want in a study abroad program to make for a best semester or longer away. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 21.